This is Kieran, one of our senior SEO strategists, on a discovery call with a new lead.
Different metrics, and we add like a table here at the bottom.
I'm very impressed.
At first, everything sounds normal until they list out their top competitors. And right away, she knows something's off. Their entire understanding of the market is wrong. They've fallen into something we call the blind spot. Doom, doom, doom. If you're trying to grow your business using SEO, listen up. The blind spot is where businesses go to die. It's that hidden disconnect between what you think you need to rank for and what actually moves the needle for you. Nearly every client we've had comes up with it. They target the wrong keywords, they obsess over the wrong competitors, and they build pages no one's actually searching for. And unless you fix that first, Google's AI will ignore you, Google's search results will ignore you, and your girlfriend will ignore you. I mean to say, and your customers will never find you. But when you get it right, this happens. In just 60 days, we took this no-name website from nothing. It was a totally brand new website, and we took it to dominating the first page of Google and even landing inside Google's AI overview, all within the first 60 days. I'm Gerard Rasool, founder of Awkward Media, the #1 SEO agency in the country. And in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how we did it. I'm gonna go through step-by-step instructions, go share my screen with you, so you can hopefully replicate it and get it done on your own. So let's get into it. So step one is something that we like to call spy and swipe. The goal here is to basically understand the battlefield before choosing the actual weapon. So what we did for this specific client is we searched the target keywords directly into Google. So we don't necessarily use Ahrefs or SEMrush to see their rankings all the time. We want to see what they are actually ranking for in real time, because a lot of times Ahrefs and SEMrush are not very accurate, or there's not live data coming out of it. We took a lay of the land and we studied the top 5 competitors, and we tried to figure out, like, well, why are these guys ranking? What are they ranking for? And most importantly, what kind of structure do they have? What kind of keyword intent do they have? What kind of URL slugs do they have? What kind of content tone that they have? Content tone nowadays is really important as well. Then what we did was we used tools like SEO Minion and Ahrefs to audit some of their backlinks as well. Now, content tone is becoming more and more important. Google understands now that brands have unique voices. If you're able to amplify your unique voice through your brand, now, whether that's serious, whether that's professional, whether that's more casual, whatever brand voice that you do choose, make sure it is consistent across your entire, all of your pages, essentially. So why do we want to do this as step one? It's because we don't want to guess. There's no guessing game here. We want to treat this like a scientific experiment every single time. We're reverse engineering the success that's already working in the algorithm that we already see rankings for. And essentially, if we do this successfully, or if we do this closest to the mark, then you have a higher chance of ranking in Google's AI. So step 2 is something we like to call one page, one intent. It's basically building conversion-driven pages with real intent. So let me give you an example of what we did with this specific client, Taxo AI. The problem that they're solving is essentially an AI-powered mechanical takeoff software for accurate construction takeoff and quantity counts. Essentially, they're specifically trying to automate with software how to get detailed fittings, lengths, and equipment information in minutes, not hours, using the power of AI. So that's basically the main problem that they're solving. So essentially, what did these guys actually want to rank for? From the previous step, we already learned what they kind of want to rank for, but one of their main keywords was mechanical takeoff software, HVAC estimating, etc., etc. So instead of just kind of adding that into the content of the homepage and different service pages, we built specific pages for those keywords. So for example, HVAC estimating software, you notice we built an entire page on that, and the type of content that we created was around 1,000 to 1,500 words, and we structured it properly with H1, H2, bullet list tables, images, the whole 9. You can kind of go through these pages yourself. I'm not going to bother going through them, but essentially we even did the FAQs for these guys and just trying to load it with as much value as possible. This is very different from ranking a blog. We're actually trying to rank an actual service page. And you'll notice, so the structure of the page is super important as well. So you'll notice what we did here was we didn't only just fill it with 1,000, 1,500 words. We took all the competitors into account who were actually ranking, and we tried to figure out where we could make our page smarter, where we could provide more value, and how we could outrank them essentially. So if we could provide more value with content, that is a big advantage to us. For example, some of the pages didn't actually break down specific categories like this. So we took the extra mile and we did that. So that's one of the reasons we may have ranked. Other small things based on, providing as much value as possible. Lots of people, when they're encountering new services like this, they will have a list of frequently asked questions. And if you're not answering the questions that are on their mind, then most likely you're not providing as much value as you can on your service pages. So obviously, we figured out what they're typically asking and we answered those as well. And we also layered CTAs on the bottom of the page and on the top of the page. Now, if this page was super long, we would have probably layered one in between, in the middle of the page as well. So just to kind of summarize really quickly, what we want to do is we want to figure out the keyword strategy first. Then once we have the keyword strategy, we want to create separate landing pages for those keywords. Make sure that the URL structures matches the keyword as well. Now, depending on how many words and how much value you're going to bring, you really want that to be dictated by your competition. So do a good little competitor analysis like we did in the beginning, and then figure out what kind of words or word count we're looking at. For this specific client, it was about 1,000 to 1,500 words. It was structured with H1, H2, plus bullet lists, plus tables and images. All that stuff is going to be really important. And then finally, we added schema markup like FAQs to support structured data visibility. And the last thing we did was we layered CTAs on the bottom and on top of the page. So why does this all work? Google ranks pages. It doesn't rank websites. The more SEO friendly your pages are and the more customized value it has to your end user, the more likely it's going to get picked up by Google and ranked in very high prominent positions. Each page has one specific job on it. And if you do that job very well, more than likely you're going to succeed in the SEO race. So the first thing that you want to do, especially if it's a brand new website, and this is what we did with them, and I forgot to mention this, is you want to add as many backlinks as possible to try and brand the website and make Google recognize you as your brand name first. So brand anchoring, brand name, backlinks, establish your brand name before you go after any sort of keywords is super important, especially if you are a brand new website. First, you got to gain a little bit of authority with your name with Google, and then you can start chasing after the different keywords that you want to go after. But if you go straight to chasing the keyword strategy before even establishing some sort of a brand name strategy, you will most likely not hit your goal. So it's really important. And the best way to do that is with backlinks, because backlinks helps with domain authority, and it helps with establishing, indexing your pages as well. So you want to do that first and foremost, especially if you're a brand new website trying to rank. If you're a more aged website, you don't really need to do that out of the gates for sure. Okay, so step 3 is AI infiltration. And the goal of this is appear in Google's AI overview or their generative search snapshot. If you're not on the first page or on the second page, very minimum, you're not going to show up on Google's AI. It's not even a point to try and go after it. What we did here is we targeted 4 core keywords that AI overview was triggering for. Now, to find out what Google's AI overview is triggering for, you may have to do some manual searches on your own. I think you can use Ahrefs. We're building a software coming up very soon that can help you kind of analyze what triggers Google's AI overview. But until that's released, you're going to have to do some manual labor. Number 2, we made sure that the client ranked in the top 10 to 15 already. So I said earlier, 1 to 2 pages you have to be ranking for. It's very technical. It's actually first 10 to 15 positions. So if you're outside of the first 15th position, don't even bother going for Google's AI overview. Your main priority first should be getting on page 1 of SERP. So for example, we found out one of the core keywords was advanced estimating software. So for HVAC businesses. So what we did, we wrote a blog for why every HVAC business needs advanced estimating software. And basically this blog wasn't very long, but it gave very valuable information. And it had bullet points. Google also loves bullet points and lists. Why does Google like lists for Google's AI overview? Because usually Google's AI overview submits bullet points or lists in their answers. if you kind of mimic that type of content, more than likely it will pick up. Another thing that we did was we made sure that we interlinked some of this stuff to their main service pages. So when you interlink, like, for example, HVAC takeoff software to the main service page, now you're giving it real SEO juice, essentially. Another thing that we did was we refreshed the metadata with question style titles every 2 weeks to align with AI phrasing. The title of this metadata was why every HVAC business needs advanced estimation software. The description was stop relying on manual estimates, learn how estimating software helps your HVAC business win more jobs, cut costs, and stay competitive. Read our blog. Also, the URL structure has that exact type of phrasing in there as well. And you'll notice the word count isn't too big. It's only 676 words, but it still ended up ranking in Google's AI overview. So it's not really about volume or the amount of keywords. It's more about how much value can you extract as fast as possible and serve it up into a nice little platter for Google to summarize. So why does all this stuff work? Google's AI chooses trusted topic leaders, essentially. So once you structure your info, you have clear relevance in your articles and your content, then more than likely you're going to get picked up with AI placement. Again, another caveat, don't even bother with Google's AI overview unless you're ranking within the first 10 to 15 positions. Now, the results of all this has been extraordinary. They've gotten about 50 to 60 organic leads a month from this effort. They're in the top 10 rankings for all their core keywords within the first 2 months, essentially. And they're featured in AI overview with basically $0 spent on ads. SEO is extremely powerful and it's extremely profitable if you do these things right from the beginning. For more tips like this, follow us, subscribe to us. We're gonna come up with more and more case studies, whether you're brand new in the game of SEO or whether you're a seasoned veteran. Everything that we learned with our SEO agency and with our clients, we're gonna try and share with you along the way so you guys can rank your own businesses. All right, thanks for your time. See you guys later. Take care, bye.